Hi guys, welcome back to my live. I am a sustainable fashion designer who works by themselves in a basement somewhere, so keep me company. Anyways, I'm back, you guys. I had gone on vacation. I was in Tanzania, you guys. It was so exciting. Look at my hair. I did micro locks and I'm so happy. Best decision ever. Anyways, you guys, so a friend of mine, you know who you are. You guys, what does it feel like I did one side of the eyebrow and not the other? Anyways, so a friend of mine, hi Jessica, a friend of mine gave me these kittens, these fabrics. A friend invested in me, can you imagine? Yes. So I have all these nice fabrics. I have this, I have this. Let me open a little bit so that you'll see what it's it's beautiful, right? Okay, that is one. Oh my god, my arms are tired from working out. Okay, this is two. I like the first one, but this I like as well. Wow. Two, three. This is three. Iklibe diese blau. I love the blue. And then lastly is this. This one is giving me Moschino vibes. And the best of the best, my fave is this one. I don't know. I love the minimalism of it, and I love the abstractness of it. Like you can't really, I don't know if it's trees, if it's, you know. So I'm rich with fabrics. So now I have to figure out what to make because I'm very, very hyped. Oops. I hope I have that thing. So how have you guys been? So I went to Tanzania. We went on safari. We saw all the big five. Animals. Oh my goodness, I'm looking for something that I need to design. Okay, this works. So I have different ideas for this. I'm starting with this one, right? So I have different ideas. I have different ideas that I'm thinking about, and let's see. First, I want like a tent dress, but I'm not yet decided on the shoulder line, like this, you know. Yeah, I think there should be like a, yeah, and then all the way huge, yeah, with of course pockets here, right? And then yeah, with pockets here. I mean, this works, but I would want to patch it up with holes with transparent hole with this fabric. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. So hi Fra. By the way, I'm here planning the fabrics that you gave me. So yeah, I'm planning on mixing this and this. This will be the transparent patches. She's the one who gave me the fabrics, you guys. That lady, Fit with Kaji. She's awesome. I'm trying to look for a one layered piece here. These are all done. Okay. Yeah. I want to mix these two. Okay, not that one. That looks ugly. This one. This one. Yeah. I'm going to put them together and put holes. But since the fabric is very small, I don't know if big holes will be. I don't know if I should make the holes uniform, maybe all at the bottom. I don't know. And maybe I should also make this the lace part, right? I'm going to make that the lace part, and then let me just draw something else because I'm thinking of so many ideas. So I'm thinking of putting the lace down here and up here. That's the second option. It's not even lace, it's mesh. Then the third idea, I'm going with this. I quite like this. It's very organized and structured. The third idea, let me see. The third idea I had was to make a two-piece, yeah, like a crop and a you know what I mean, like something like that with the same, but this will limit the size. So no, this is guaranteed to fit so many people. So yes, so I guess I'm going to make that. Okay, let's start the process. Let's start the process. But the question is, do I really want to make? Let's do this. Now I've started to stall now that the work has to start. I'm stalling. You guys, look at my earrings from Tanzania. Anyways, so that's some jacket I was working on. So what do we do now? First, I'm going to get I have to get a top, and I have to get a top, and I have to trace out the upper part. This can only get off easily when you iron it. So the pattern I want, I don't like this silence. I don't like the silence. Oh, where is my filter here? Some exposing me. Crooks. Let's gossip. Hey.
So Kim Kardashian is once again under public scrutiny and under fire because she has allowed North to create TikTok videos that were in poor taste. And in fact, I believe they are still up there, but you probably have not heard too much about it because, well, her and possibly maybe her team have disabled the comments. And, you know, this has been a topic that has come up before on this channel. A couple years back, Kanye actually spoke avidly against this when North did something, in my opinion, that was still distasteful in my eyes, but it was a lot lesser than what we're seeing today, what's posted on their TikTok today. I wanted to go through that. So the content
That ain't the
which
right
Under Fire
English.
North recreated a music video of Ice Spice, and the lyrics are very vulgar and explicit.
So
and
to get this too.
Of course, we absolutely should be talking about that. Hold on to your butts, secure your wigs, stay right there. We're going to go through it.
Ja, es ist grün. Aber es ist so viel mehr als das, was es wirklich ist. Deine tägliche Routine mit Vitaminen und Mineralstoffen, Bakterienkulturen sowie weiteren Zutaten aus echten Lebensmitteln. 75 hochwertige Inhaltsstoffe unterstützen täglich Immunsystem, Energiestoffwechsel, Muskelerholung, geistige Fitness und mehr. All das in nur einem Löffel. Das ist AG1 von Athletic Greens. Starte jetzt deine neue Routine.
Really quick, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Natalie Sleeps by BioTrust. Guys, sometimes I have trouble sleeping from the social media space and the mainstream stage where all this pervasiveness is just normal now. But I want to take a little scope in Kim Kardashian's little world because she has a TikTok with her daughter called Kim and North, and they have about 15.1 million followers. You guys have seen on this channel many times over and over where we go through scenarios of, you know, very shady networks and shady people on social media where they will take even just a normal picture from somebody's Facebook or, you know, a child's Instagram, and they will turn it into something completely dark. They'll twist it. So it's, I almost want to say you cannot have your children on social media because unless you're open to some sicko taking a completely normal picture of your son or daughter maybe playing outside or posing for family photos, whatever, they will literally take that and twist it into something dark. With that being said, when you have a TikTok 15.1 million followers, imagine how multiplicative that is times the creep ratio that we have in today's internet space. All right, let's move on. So there were some TikTok videos that North posted, and they were recreating this female rapper by the name of Ice Spice. I hadn't heard of Ice Spice before this whole thing just came to my attention, but I imagine because of, you know, the mainstream and how they just continually finds this new talent, they're going to spring up from everywhere. She is a young lady. She's in her early 20s. Now, Ice Spice, okay, she's making music with very vulgar lyrics, and I'm just going to give you an example. For instance, one of them in which was on North's TikTok, it says, not to sound like Ben Shapiro, but this is what it said. He say I'm good enough, grabbing my da-da-da, thinking about S that I shouldn't have. So I tell him it's one of me. He's making fun of me. His girl is a bum to me. Like that boy is a cap saying he's home, but I know where he's at. Like, I bet he blowing her back. And yes, North recreated this music video that Ice Spice has out for this song. It's called Boy's a Liar 2, Part 2. She recreated this video with her friend, and they're dancing. What I really want to scope in on is North making these TikTok videos with these lyrics playing out in this video, blowing her back, you know, grabbing her da-da-da. Like, what the hell is going on, and what goes through a mother's head to think that this is okay? All right? So Kim Kardashian actually deleted this TikTok video off of their account, but she left all the other videos on. And before we go there, she actually disabled all of the comments on all of the videos, so she knows that there's something wrong. She's trying to defy public scrutiny by turning off the comments, and which is why you probably haven't heard of any of this going on. So not only does she keep the videos up, she invites Ice Spice, the female rapper, over for a sort of like TikTok play date with North and her friends. And they recreate dances and the music video, you know, in which could seem very innocent, but once again, the lyrics that are playing over this video are not appropriate for girls that age. Mind you, let me remind you that North is only 9 years old. She's not a tween. She's not a teen. She is 9 years old. Even so, that stuff would still be inappropriate, but I'm saying, like, the developmental stages that are being affected right now when she's 9 years old, thinking like that these lyrics are okay, and it's just, I can't fathom. All right. So I found all this out by simply searching Ice Spice on Twitter. Literally just Ice Spice in the search bar on Twitter, and all of this content started pulling up, in which repetitively I saw that there were, or I'm just going to gather that this is her signature pose where she just bends over, she's touching her ankles, and, you know, her business is out for the world. Although she's clothed, but her business is out for the world. There is another video, which I can't even show, but she's doing this very pose while she's dancing, performing at a concert, and she slaps her, you know, her nunu, okay? So I find it interesting because Ice Spice, once again, she's a young lady, she's in her early 20s, knows that this is a frowned upon pose, to the point where she admits that her father is not about it. Listen to this video clip of her being interviewed and asked about what her parents think about it.
They saw this, the cover of this project.
Chill, they gonna see that. They gonna see that soon.
How's that gonna go? I'm grown now.
Period. I'm grown, like.
Yeah, they ain't going for that.
Nah.
They're not trying to get it.
With my pops though,
He gonna black
I'm
out a
his
little
baby
bit.
girl, like,
Black out a little
yeah,
bit.
he gonna be like, gonna do a different pose, but that's my pose, like.
So even Ice Spice admits that she's grown, that her parents are not about it. I think I saw another interview where she said her mom was okay with it, but her father, obviously, as you guys saw, is not okay with it. So if a young lady who is grown, right? She's a young lady, but she's grown. She's of age, you know, in her early 20s, can even admit that her own father would not approve of that pose or would not like that. But then we're over here seeing North and her friends recreate these dances. I mean, where does the logic reside? So it doesn't really stop there. As I was going through the TikTok videos on Kim and North's account, I saw that Kim Kardashian was recreating this, or not recreating, but she was lip syncing with North to this song called Such a Vibe. And again, like, I'm not a pilgrim. Like, I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, all these adultic lyrics, like, just stop listening to it. But it's like there are portions of the lyrics that you should not be encouraging your children to sing or reenact. Like this one, for instance, called Such a Vibe, which if you're an adult listening to this, completely understand. But this is what the lyrics say, in which they are dancing to. It says, baby, you're such a vibe. Baby, you're just my type. I could end up with your baby if you stay the night. Show me the other side. Yeah, those explicit words are cool. You such a vibe, right? So it's like, you know, she's talking about, you know, getting pregnant by this guy, staying the night. And over here, North and Kim are just dancing to it. It seems to be that Kim is trying to kind of calm her down or like subdue her dancing, but at the end of the day, this video still got published on TikTok. And so there were people that, from various pieces of content that I searched on Twitter, that had things to say about this. Obviously, they were along the same lines as I am, not a fan of all this, saying that this is really concerning for her. So it's like these real people out there just not hearing about it. But then I came across this one comment that I just want to highlight, because this is the problem in our society, and this is why we are at where we're at, where this person says, the outrage shows how short our memories are, because everybody knows it with pink streaks in their hair, to be like Nicki, my neck, my back, blaring out Skull Candy headphones, and doing the Beyonce and Ciara dances in the playground at lunchtime, in which people rightfully responded, it wasn't good then and it's not good now, and if you want to stroll
on YouTube. But tonight I decided to go live, and I'm going to need some native Spanish speakers in the house because there are some things being recorded in Mexico that are not being recorded here in the United States. And I'm so curious. I'm so curious about this. And so nonetheless, listen, so we're going to be listing all of the inconsistencies in one place. I took a list of them, as well as some things that I heard from Mexican youth that I did not know was going on, which makes me wonder about some other things. But you know what? So listen, if you know a native Spanish speaker, I'm gonna need you to tag them so that they can come in. There's also some footage that I'm looking for. Well, first of all, we're going to be talking about the. Oh, you know what? Before I get into anything, let me get the link because I see people are coming in. So welcome. Tonight's show, we're going live a little later than usual, so I expect it to be a very calm, quiet show. And let me just tell you all this, right? If there's anybody here who does not want to hear about this topic, this is the perfect time to click out because I'm more interested in finding out the truth than trying to make people look good. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of inconsistencies in the stories that are being told, as well as I didn't realize inconsistencies with how the story is being reported in the United States versus in Mexico. And I wanted to, like, for example, has anybody here in this country seen this? Has anybody here? Listen, there's something going on. I don't know what it is, but we are going to go live on every platform, and then we're going to, oh, you know what? I'm trying out different lipstick shades. You know, I'm experimenting this week, so let me know what you think about this. These are two different lipsticks mixed together, one from the nude pack and one from the red pack. So, nonetheless, let us go ahead and get live all of these rooms that I have so I can start closing them up. All right, here we go. All right, so they were in a Chrysler Pacifica, right? And I'm going to show you how this looks, right? Here. This is how the Chrysler Pacifica looks with the seating setup, right? And so if you look, there were 5 people that drove down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After she had this tummy tuck, if she was going to be driving up, where was she going to lay? There's a little child seat right here in the middle, right? But there's not enough space, even in the back, for a full-grown woman to lay down after a tummy tuck. Also, not only that, the amount of time that it takes to heal up after a tummy tuck. I did some research, right? Flying after a tummy tuck or even driving after a tummy tuck. So here, flying after a tummy tuck, in general, I do not recommend that patients fly for at least a month after any type of significant cosmetic procedure until after they've completely healed. You would increase your chance for having embolism from prolonged flights if you are not completely recovered. Then it asks, how long can you travel even to drive? It says here that even to drive 2 to 4 weeks because you can get an embolism, blood clots, etc., right? And so you can look that up and confirm that for yourself, right? You can look that up and confirm that for yourself. The friend that they had that spoke on Anderson Cooper says that they were supposed to come back within 15 minutes. Not that the guys were supposed to come back. She was looking for the girl too because she called the girl's daughter. The girl has an 18-year-old daughter. And she called the girl's daughter. I'll play the clip for you all so that we can all hear it again, right? Somebody wants me to show the picture again. This picture right here. Yeah. So nonetheless, or the picture of the Pacifica want to see. If there's anything that you need to see, you can look this up. You can Google this stuff for yourself. This is all information that exists out there, right? Number 6, Eric, his wife did not know that he was traveling to Mexico. She didn't know. She had not heard anything about that. Right? So when you add the, we're going to be, so when you add the, okay, so we're going to Brownsville, Texas. Oh, well now the stop has been moved to Mexico. We'll be back in 15 minutes. And then once they crossed the border, there was a car that was tailing them. And then once they got to a certain point, the car opened fire on them. There's also some other things, because you'll be surprised, right? Because, okay, so they kidnapped these people, but you'll be surprised at what was left inside of the car. If people are going to be kidnapped, what types of things do you expect to not be left in the car? Think to yourself, and you can write that in the comments below. Number 7, the clinic. So in Mexican news, the clinic she was allegedly going to made a public statement that they had never heard of her. I have another statement. Let me pull this up. Let me see if I can get this up here on this device here. All right. I'll show this to you all right here. So, as you see, so we'll here. This right here is a surgeon in Matamoros and Tamaulipas, right? And you'll see, you can pause it to read, right? They are denouncing and saying that they have no idea who these people are. They were not members of their clinic. They're trying to let people know that everything is safe and copacetic with traveling there for surgery. Because if you think about it, there's this, whichever place they were going to is liable, right? You can go ahead and start sending the apples through. I'm going to read those in a moment, right? Wherever they were going is liable, because typically, and I spoke to this doctor's office, and they're shook. They're like, no, I don't know why people are saying that she's supposed to come here. They were not supposed to come here. We do not know who these people are. They're shook because this is bad for business. Think about it. The place that they were going to is liable because typically how it works is there's a Mexican van that picks them up on the other side of the border and brings them across safely to the place that they're going to have surgery, right? That's how it typically works. So somebody's saying the cartel is telling the doctor's office to hush up. Really? Are there people here that still believe that she was going to go get a tummy tuck? Oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Let's just start playing some videos because there's too many people here in denial. There's too many people here in denial. I mean, here. Let's take a look at this. Many of us behave like bad cops. We want the police to denounce, or good cops rather. We want good cops to denounce bad cops, right? But I have people now telling me that I'm not black. Because I'm reporting on this story. I'm not black. But each one of these people are. It's like you're more willing to accept these people who are career criminals. Let me tell you, we can look through their background checks tonight if you so choose. But you're going to tell me that I'm not black because you can't acknowledge that there are certain people in our communities that are doing things that they're not supposed to do, right? I don't get it. I don't get it. Here.
Nancy go. Here we go. This is video inside the minivan heading to Mexico before 4 Americans were kidnapped. It was originally live streamed on Facebook. A law enforcement source familiar with the matter tells NBC News a previously unreported fifth person made the road trip, but left the group before the others crossed the border because that person did not have the proper documentation. We're blurring her face since she has not been publicly identified. Latavia Washington McGee, a mother of 6, was among the Americans captured Friday when authorities say cartel gunmen opened fire on the minivan after they crossed into Mexico for a medical procedure. McGee's cousin, Shaid Woodard, and close friend Zindel Brown were killed. McGee's mother speaking to CNN today.
I want you to take a look. Take a look at the mother's face, the children's faces, and the daughter who was found with drugs in her system. Remember, this is the young lady who was 13. I'm sorry, she's 13 now. When she was 8, she was found with amphetamines, cannabinoids, and THC in her system. And Latavia was arrested, right? She has 6 children. 3 of them are with the mother. Just take a look at them. Does this look like the face of children who are concerned about their mother, even a mother who is concerned about her daughter coming back home safely? I'm only asking us to consider the information. Just look at their faces. Does this look at the faces of people who are worried?
She watched them die.
Another member of the group, Eric Williams, was shot in the leg and is now recovering.
Did you have any idea that he would make such a trip like this?
I was totally shot down. Had no idea he would go to Mexico.
Robert Williams is his older brother. He watched the images of the 2 American survivors being brought back across the border on television.
I was overwhelmed with emotion. I was very happy to find out he was okay. I was totally relieved.
We're also learning new details about the chilling abduction. Pictures released by Mexican authorities show the gunman trailing the white minivan. More images show travel documents, luggage. In the white minivan.
So here, I want you all to pay attention to this, right? Was this a shootout between opposing cartels, as they're saying? But they were followed from the border. And then also this truck is a black truck. We just saw the truck they were put into is a white truck.
Oh.
They were taken to a different location. So there's a lot of different things going on, but I want you to pay attention to what they say was left inside of the minivan. Listen. And then it also, this is somebody outside of the car over here. I see that people are outside of this truck right here. Look, listen, what was left in the minivan? So the cartel kidnaps Americans. And listen, look at what was left in the minivan. Look.
Trailing the white minivan. More images show travel documents, luggage, debit cards, and cash investigators found inside the vehicle. Oh.
What? What was left in the vehicle? I just want you to take a look. Debit cards, cash, travel documents. So I'm seeing Social Security cards. What are you seeing? Social Security cards. I'm seeing money. I'm seeing. It looks. Are those birth certificates? So yeah, look, debit cards right down here. Debit cards, all different types of cards. Look. This right here is that a Navy Federal debit card? Huh. Very interesting. And then we see some Visa debit cards up here. So, what's going on? What's going on? So, the cartel took them from one location to another and left all of the travel documents, money, debit card, all of that. So this wasn't a robbery. Apparently. No debit cards were taken. This was, I mean, we're talking about a crime syndicate, right? So somebody's saying they see $3. It still is an indication that wallets were left in the car. Wallets, there are multiple debit cards. There are a few different birth certificates and social security cards, which means that wallets were left. A crime syndicate like the cartel kidnaps people but leaves all of their debit cards and social. You know what you can do with it as a crime person? You know what you can do with an American social security card and birth certificate? You know what you can do? Come on. I just want us to pay attention. It's not about the $3 because I can imagine if there was more money that the money wasn't going to be kept in a wallet. These are wallet things. Look, they were all folded, right? So just pay attention.
Debit cards and cash investigators found inside the vehicle. Over a tense few days, investigators scrambled to several different hospitals in the area to find the victims, discovering them in this wooden shack some 15 miles from Matamoros. Police arrested this man accused of guarding the Americans, but are still searching for the gunman. Today, hundreds of extra troops from the Mexican Army and National Guard arrived in Matamoros to ramp up security.
Authorities continue to say that the group of Americans was mistakenly targeted by cartel gunmen, but news of a fifth person on the road trip points to a complex investigation that is only... only white.
All right, so now military forces are ramped up. Mexico was frantic about this because, you know, there was a travel warning against going into Mexico. So there was a lot going on, and people in Mexico were scrambling, right? Here, let's take a look and see what this is here.
Americans have been kidnapped just across the border in Mexico. Shocking video shows them being taken at gunpoint. William Longinez has the latest from the White House.
We're closely following the assault and kidnapping of 4 U.S. citizens in Matamoros, Mexico. These sorts of attacks are unacceptable.
4 Americans kidnapped at gunpoint shortly after crossing into Mexico from Brownsville, Texas on Friday. It happened in the northern Mexican border city of Matamoros. According to...
So I had a question that I was curious about. How far is Brownsville from Matamoros? And so we're going to finish listening to that, but I wanted, here. These are the number of clinics, hospitals, clinics inside of Matamoros. There's only about 12 of them. So we can call each one of them and see which one of the clinics she was supposedly going to. So these are the clinics right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. All right. So there's 23 clinics, right, in Matamoros, right? All right. Then I wanted to find out how far is Matamoros from the Mexican border, right? Or Brownsville, Texas, from the Mexican border. And apparently it is only 2 miles away, right? It's only 2 miles away, right here. Let's take a look at this. Let me see if I can make this larger. Okay, so here is Brownsville, Texas at point A. Here is Matamoros at point B. And it is only 2 or 3 miles, right? So it would be easy to say, you know, if you're going to make a quick run 2 miles, that you'll be back in 15 minutes to do whatever it is that you got to do across the border. You know, that's cool. So that's what I'm telling you. So it's a 2-3 mile drive, and I don't know. I'm hearing that it takes a few hours to cross the border. I don't know if at different spots along the border it takes a different amount of time. But we saw the young lady who said that she was was waiting at the hotel. We'll play a little bit of that for us once we get through some of this other footage.
For the FBI, the group was driving a white minivan with North Carolina plates when they came under gunfire from a group of armed men. They were later dragged out of the van and pushed into a waiting car that fled the scene.
The information we have is that they crossed the border to buy medicine in Mexico, and
I wanted you all to hear that. So this is either the governor. This is the governor or the president of Mexico. So this is an official who was given official information, national security information, and the information that they were given, that the government was given, is that they were going to buy medication. So which was it? Was it a tummy tuck? Was it medication? What was it? What was it? Here, we'll listen again.
The scene.
the information we have is that they crossed the border to buy medicine in Mexico, and there was a confrontation between groups, and they were detained.
Mexico's president has indicated this may be a case of mistaken identity, and the group unintentionally was targeted.
The FBI working very closely with other federal partners and Mexican law enforcement agencies to investigate this.
Matamoros is part of the Tamaulipas state, an area that is home to warring factions of the Gulf drug cartel. It's also one of 6 Mexican states Americans are warned not to travel by the State Department due to violent crime and kidnappings.
The travel advisory for Tamaulipas state remains at level 4. Do not travel. We encourage Americans to heed that.
The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for any information leading to the victims or the arrest of their kidnappers.
Okay, so there. As you see, this is spring break right now. College students are out of school and they're traveling. This is bad business for Mexico for all of this to be on the news. Would that be incentive for somebody to give up 4 petty criminals, 5 petty criminals with this letter? We saw the letter. I'll pull it up for you all. But that letter is a boondoggle in and of itself. Let me see if I can get that here. So this is the claim. This is what they're saying is the letter right here. They're saying that this is the letter that a crime syndicate wrote by hand. This is what people are believing. This. Written by hand and 5 people given up. Would the country, Mexico, would officials in Mexico be incentivized to offer up some petty criminals to take the fall for this and to write some handwritten note? This is, you know how much money the cartel is? This is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. If you think that the cartel does not have letterhead, then you are willfully in denial. The cartel has letterhead. The cartel has politicians in their pockets. The cartel is a strong crime. It's an organized crime syndicate. What is this? This is even gang members, petty gang members from the hood wouldn't be writing out no doggone handwritten letter. Come on. I mean, I want us to use our heads. What's going on here? What is the overarching, what's happening here? What is happening? So here, we're gonna play video from the young lady who was the 5th friend. And then we're going to play, so I need some native Spanish speakers in the house. Listen, share this video. Tag somebody in this video. If you all are talking about this and still talking about this and want to have a conversation, let's have that conversation now, because I'm hoping after tonight that we won't be talking about this anymore, because it would have all been discussed, all of the inconsistencies gotten out of the way. Maybe we might open up the phone line so that you all can talk, right? Jay is saying $60 to $100 billion industry. I mean, come on, if you think they don't have letterhead, lawyers, travel agents, planes, secretaries, manufacturing, and distribution, come on. This is organized crime. That's come on. So nonetheless, right? Here. Should we hear from the wife first? Or, you know what? We'll hear from the wife, Eric Williams' wife, who had no idea that he was traveling.
Family members now scared the cartel might come to their small town.
That's right, Nicole. Earlier I spoke with Michelle Williams, the wife of Eric Williams, one of the two who were kidnapped and survived. She said he told her not to appear on camera, and so we spoke by phone, and I have to say, the conversation raised more questions than anything else. Just a day after officials announced they rescued 2 of the 4 Americans who were kidnapped in Mexico, News Nation spoke with Michelle Williams, the wife of Eric Williams, who survived. When did you realize that there was some sort of issue?
When FBI came to my house.
When was that?
That was on Sunday morning.
And what did they say?
They wanted to confirm who he was, and that was he with them. And I did not know at the time that he was with them particular friends. I didn't even have any idea that they were
them particular friends. How many of you have friends who are convicted drug felons from multiple offenses for decades? I mean, so we have 4 people all with drug offenses, drug past, gathered together on a road trip. Well, and the 5th person, for all intents and purposes, to the discerning eye, looks like a user. Come on. How many? 5 criminals gathered together on a road trip? This sounds like a bad joke starting. And you heard the way the wife said, I had no idea he was with them particular friends. You go on a road trip where you're going to go help your bestie after a tummy tuck and nurse her back to health, and she's supposed to be laying down, despite the fact that there's not enough seats for her to lay down in this minivan, coming back up, and with the travel advisory again, or the warning against traveling after a surgery because of embolisms, you're going to lay down in a car for 22 hours. Look, I don't know what the truth is, but I know what is not true. I may not know what is true, but I know what is not true.
Even there.
Williams again told us she didn't know her husband.
They wanted to confirm who he was, and that was he with them. And I did not know at the time that he was with them particular friends. I didn't even have any idea that they were even there.
Williams again told us she didn't know her husband had gone to Mexico. Where did he say where he was going initially?
He just said he was going with his friend and his cousin.
Did he say he was going to Mexico?
No, he did not. That's one thing he did not say.
Michelle did say she has been speaking to her husband periodically. What does he say about the whole incident?
He's heartbroken that the other 2 won't be coming home. Those are like his brothers. She is like his sister.
And still not sharing with his wife what went down this past Friday in Mexico.
So he must not have known the story went viral because he still didn't tell his wife where he was or what was going on.
He didn't want to get into detail. They went there for her to have cosmetic surgery.
And then all of a sudden they met, somehow got caught in the crossfire with these cartels?
Correct.
But despite having a successful surgery on both of his legs, he asked his wife not to appear on camera and not to come visit him at the hospital. Do you have any idea when you're going to see your husband next, when he's due back here?
No, because he doesn't want us to come there.
Why? For fear of something related to the cartels?
Or something will happen to us here.
So he's worried this...
So he's afraid of something happening in South Carolina. So you go on a trip and like, well, we're afraid of what might happen with you there in South Carolina. Was somebody waiting on something back there? Was someone waiting?
Something would stretch back here to the East Coast.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know he doesn't want us there. And I do know he made it out of surgery and he's doing okay.
Meantime, here in Lake City, a small knit community remembers the victims.
I knew the Williams guy. I coached him on football in Little League. Brown, I knew his family. They were good kids, and families were from Lake City, and they were pretty good kids in the community.
It's just heartbreaking to know that kids from our community can't go somewhere and have a good time.
Now I'm standing here in front of this church where in about an hour, members of the community will gather for a vigil and pray for the victims. I've spoken to some people here who already showed up.
Did anybody pray for the victims of Zindel with multiple domestic violence arrests on his record? Did anybody pray for the person who he strangled with a telephone cord, the woman who has permanent damage now? Did they have a vigil for her? Or was she just on her own? When did he stop being a good kid? Was it when he was strangling women, beating the demon out of them? July 2018, domestic violence. November 2019. July 18, 2019. July 31st, 2019. July 25th, 2019. Zindel. I'm curious. We'll show his picture in a moment, but I'm just curious.
They said there's so much of this story that just doesn't add up. So many questions yet unanswered, Nicole.
Yeah, a lot that still doesn't add up here. All right, Rich, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to news.
So the newscasters know that something isn't adding up, but they're not talking about it here in the United States. I don't know if it's because people have been so frightened out of speaking up, right? But here, let's go ahead and show. Let's show Zindel. Let's show Zindel here. This is him. This is him. July 2018. I mean, I could read. Look, I pay for background checks on all of them. I could read straight. And so for the people who are like, oh, they don't care what the Daily Mail says, you can pay for the background check yourself. I looked it up myself. I can read straight from it. I wrote down the notes, but it's there. July 2018, and so we're talking about right after the pandemic. Then we went into the pandemic, and then I don't see any more arrests for him in terms of domestic violence. But he has, as a matter of fact, you know what? I'll do the arrest records afterwards. I'll do that afterwards. Don't you worry. I got you. Because there's a lot more video that we need to go through. Because we need to go through the Mexican videos as well. So let's take a look at Anderson Cooper, the felonious five. Lord have mercy. Let's take a look at Anderson Cooper when he was talking to this young lady the one with meth mouth that people are saying have meth mouth. Her, yeah. We shall hear from her.
It's hard. I'm trying one day at a time. It's a lot to process.
So you were the first to actually alert authorities in Brownsville about that your friends were missing or hadn't made it back. Let's just start by telling us about why you and your friends were planning to go to Mexico.
Latavia's my best friend. She hit me out and asked me to join her, to accompany her in a trip to Brownsville, Texas for cosmetic surgery.
When you listen, I want you to listen to the words that she's saying, right? She asked me to accompany her on a trip to Brownsville, Texas. Have any of your friends ever asked you to accompany them? Oh, God have mercy. Your best friend. Have any of your best friends ever asked you to accompany them? Accompany me, please, to Brownsville, Texas. So she's saying they weren't even supposed to be going to Mexico or being accompanied.
And we began the road trip. We left out on Thursday and traveled to Texas. Once I got there, I was then informed that her procedure was being done across the border.
I was then informed that her procedure was being done across the border. I want you to look around, look at her eyes. Come on, Jesus, the body language guy, ¿dónde estás? Please. We need somebody to take a look at this. Does it look like she's in this room by herself? She was informed that the procedure would now be across the border. Eyes twirling around like a merry-go-round. This is unbelievable. I'm sorry, is anybody talking here about who accompanied them and now they're informed of the procedure?
In that event, we were just arriving in Brownsville, Texas.
I mean, is anybody buying this in that event? This is the way people write and talk like this. In that event, come on. This girl is a booster. But you know, considering that I had not seen, because I pulled Latavia's record, and I did not see any of these. I pulled her record. I did not see 2022, 2017. I didn't see these. I didn't see these. So what else is it that we don't know? Because when I pulled her record, I didn't see drug offenses on there, which I was very surprised by. But I did see that she's a booster. She shoplifts from department stores, and she perhaps squats because she's gotten arrested for being in places that she's not supposed to be.
In that event, we were just arriving in Brownsville.
Sierra is saying it's crazy we do our own people this way. Yeah, you know what? It is crazy that our own people do us this way. It is crazy. It is crazy that our own people have long rap sheets of domestic violence spanning decades, beating up people perhaps from our own community. Yeah, selling crack half a mile from a school, crack and Adderall, 10 blocks from the school. Yeah, as kids are walking home. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy our own people do us this way, Sierra. It's a pity. It's a pity that we have so many doggone people in our communities making excuses for bad behavior, saying that it doesn't matter. Right. Unless the information is convenient, it doesn't matter then. Right? Yeah. I can listen.
Texas at Studio 6, and I didn't have proper identification, so I couldn't join.
I didn't have proper identification, so I couldn't accompany them. I didn't have the ID. I didn't have the right ID. What is this? Because we saw the Don Lemon interview. We know that there are people who come on the air unrehearsed and speaking, their African-American vernacular English, etc. Right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I wanted her to go across to the border, which left me back at the hotel.
So because you didn't know you'd be going out of the country, you didn't know you'd be going to Mexico, you didn't bring
Look at where she's looking.
Did you travel with her and the others to Brownsville, or did you meet them there?
No, we all traveled together. It was a road trip.
I want you to take a look at her head. I'm sorry. I'm not a body language expert, but I want you to see how she goes, yeah, and no. Just take a look. She's about to say it right now. Just take a look. I'll put it on the big screen for you so you can see. Put a big screen so you can
others
Yeah,
to Brownsville, or did you meet them there?
No, we all traveled together. It was a group.
I just want you to take a look. Is this in my imagination that she said no? No, I'm sorry. That she said yeah, and then she said no. Really? All right.
Trip.
So did you have any idea about threats down in Matamoros or what it was like across the border? Or did Latavia?
No, sir, not at all. Not to my knowledge. I'm assuming that she didn't know because I know her name. She's not going to travel to danger.
Did you actually try to cross the border with them and were turned away, or did you just
Hi,
realize
Izzy.
before even trying that you didn't have the idea?
Imagine, Pora gave me these amazing fabrics for
me-
making
told
my
me
dress.
that
No,
when I
she
said
told
I
me.
didn't have my ID with me. They dropped me off at the hotel and said that they would reach me in 15 minutes. That's why I was so worried and in
Listen.
fear because it didn't seem right. 15 minutes had gone by. They were not there.
So how long did you wait after 15 minutes? I mean, that must have been agonizing.
When they dropped me off, when they dropped me off at the hotel, I had got into the shower. I showered and I laid on the bed. I was exhausted from, the long hours, the long ride. So I thought,
One of the things, I remember seeing this on a crime show, when people start answering a whole bunch of questions you didn't ask. She got into the shower. I think that I was just tired from the long ride. This is a lot of additional information no one asked.
I ended up falling asleep. I woke up and it was already 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So from 9 to 5, I went down to the office, the clerk in the hotel, and I asked him, had my friends come back or attempted to, come in and out the hotel, come back to the hotel. And he told me no. So I called my boyfriend, I called James' brother, and I said, something's not right. And I texted my roommate. I said, something's not right. 9 o'clock got here, 12 o'clock got here, midnight, and then now we're into Saturday morning at 10:23. It's literally a few minutes before checkout. I said, there's no way. I called the cops immediately.
And I knew you had their luggage, you had their things. Is that right?
I had 3 of the 3 male victims' belongings. I retrieved it after it became 11 o'clock.
I had three of the male victims' belongings. These are your friends or what, dear? Belongings? I had three of the male victims' belongings. Is anybody else paying attention to this? I mean, how much denial do we need to be in? How much denial do we need to be in? When was the last time you ever called your homies suitcase belongings? Male victims. When was the last male victims? I had 3 of the male victims' belongings. These aren't your friends. Belongings are not suitcase, luggage, stuff.
At what point did you learn about what had actually happened? When did you see the video?
They sent it to me, I think, had to be between Saturday night and Sunday morning, like the wee hours.
What did you think when you saw that?
I dropped the phone. My body clenched up. I dropped the phone. My stomach was in knots. And I just began praying. I just began praying for the return to them. I didn't know much about the cartels, and I started looking up videos, and it was bad. It was bad. I began to think the worst, and just thank God for her daughter, her 18-year-old daughter, Tay's daughter. She held me together.
So you know what? You can finish watching that whole entire interview for yourself. I just really wanted to get the parts about, the stuff that just seemed very inconsistent. So let's move on. Native Spanish speakers in the house. Did you all tag some native Spanish speakers? Because we're going to be playing the video from we're going to play the video from the Mexican press, because there's a lot going on, right? Did we talk about how you're not supposed to travel after a tummy tuck for 2 to 4 weeks? We talked about that, right? I showed that in the beginning. I'm just clearing up my tabs so that I make sure that there's nothing left unturned by the time we leave this broadcast, because I want us to go over all of it. I don't want to get off the broadcast and be like, oh, I had this thing open and I didn't realize that, oh my goodness, I don't want to do that. So I'm just getting all of, you know what?
I'm cutting another one because I realized this fabric might be too thin to hold the.
We're gonna look
to
at
hold this big one.
commercial for the Tech Notification Squad. Then we're gonna check the apples, and then I want, if you have not tagged or brought somebody over who's a native Spanish speaker, I want you all to. Do we have native Spanish speakers in the house? Put up a 3 if you era Latino, Hispanoamericano, or from anywhere. If you can, just put up a 3 so that I can know whether or not we need to get some more people in here, or whether or not we have the people that we need. Native Spanish speakers, because I'm a learned Spanish speaker. I'm not native, because there's some words that they're saying on the news that I don't understand, and I want to understand a particular part. Why are you all talking about juicy soulier? Why are you all doing that? Better Call Saul. What are you all talking about? Listen, if you want to be here for the live shows where it goes down, make sure that you're a part of the Tech Notification Squad. Okay, so Bobby's a native Spanish speaker. Perfect. Woodchuck. Who do I have in here? All right. Mima. Okay, perfect. All right, so we have native Spanish speakers here. Okay, perfect. All right, so, all right, that's really all that we need. If you all can reach out to your people. Oh wow, lady, her Spanish is limited. Okay, that's fine. We have 3 and a possible. That's for my black people in here. You know what I'm talking about. 3 and a possible. So let's jump to the quick commercial. We're gonna read the apples, and then we're going to look at the Spanish media. Live videos arriving late when the video is well underway or about to end. Are you fatigued of only seeing a live video randomly while perusing YouTube and Facebook, or worse, randomly unsubscribed? Well, now you can get a text notification whenever I go live. No longer are we dependent on the algorithm of these business platforms. Just $1.99 a month US and Canada, or $4.99 a month international. You get a personalized text message 15 minutes before each live show. Now you can show up early with the text squad, meet other people from all over the world, and get invited to secret broadcasts off platform. Most importantly, support your favorite independent theater. Go to TKO.com and click on text. Join the TKO text /TXT. It's $2 plus fees per month, or $22 plus fees for the year, or $4.99 a month, or $50 for the year if you're international. So support the broadcast and yourself. Sometimes you get unsubscribed. Sometimes you don't get the notifications from these platforms, and you want to be here live so that you don't have to just catch the snippets on the other channel. But yes, so make sure that you do that. Join the Text Notification Squad. We have over 870 people on the Text Notification Squad. And you get invited to our secret Telegram group offline, where we communicate between broadcasts. So let us go ahead and let's read the apples, and then after that we're going to listen to the broadcast. So let's grab this real quick. All right, let's take a look and see what we have here. All right, perfect. So Vanessa sends $2 and says, leave you, I think not. What are you talking about, Vanessa? Danny sends 444s for support, a heart, and a yoga. Okay. Bernadette sends $2 and says, Tanya, you're doing great news reporting. Thank you very much. Support the channels that support you. Hey, Yana, yay, you finally got your text. I'm so happy. Patricia sends $1.99 and says, first time Cash App. Thank you for all that you do.
You're always saying cardio isn't the right way to lose weight. I mean, why? The only thing I would say is if you like doing cardio, keep doing cardio. But what ultimately ends up happening, your body eventually stops responding to it. You need to stop doing steady state cardio because it's not a quality way of losing weight long term, and you're going to hate it. And those both work.
What happens a lot of times when we go through these pole shifts or resets or I like how Jay Dreamers, I love his channel. He's so amazing and he's so original in his Plasma Apocalypse. And if you haven't checked out his channel, definitely check out his channel. And it talks about, and also there's Jason Brashears, who also talks about the Phoenix event. It's all one and the same. It's just different names for the same reset event. Okay. And when we're talking about this, I'm going to go into a different things today. You have me for today, so long as the feed stays up. And I'm not sure. Let me say this, everyone, before I go further. I'm unsure of how long these videos stay up. So please don't get after me. Willy Wonka will go through the AI and the AI bots in here, whoever shows up, will go through my feed. And as soon as I say something that is definitively true, they will totally, oh, thank you, James. If anytime I say something definitively true that will illuminate you, he'll purple pill you so you're aware, and then you'll, like the 100 monkey syndrome, you'll kind of like spark everybody else. So you really just, oh, thank me, tap life, I appreciate it. They'll just attack the video and they'll delete it, and they'll delete it without me even having access to it. Okay? Thank you, Wonder Whips. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. So let me state this. So as we're going back in the loop and there's these dualities playing out, we always go through like times where some particular phenotype will take dominance or home court advantage. So in this past cycle, it was lunar males and lunar in this particular reset. So in this time, it would just be that particular phenotype would just hold dominance and the spectrum of what's going on. And what happens is it bounces off that. So that's why you're starting to see, because we're going through resets and we're going back, you're starting to see back in the last reset, you're seeing women. Thank you, Wonder Whips. I appreciate the donations. Thank you. I appreciate it. In the last reset, you saw previous to the reset, and this is my theory on this. I can't really confirm this, but I'm just going from what I see. The last reset, what you saw is people, and because we were going into lunar and males, and it was mostly males, you saw women trying to become more masculine. Oh, thank you, Wonder Whips. Thank you. They were becoming more masculine. So whenever we're going to a shift and it's a pole shift and there's a new home court advantage, you will start to see people, whether they're holographic people or not. I think a lot of them kind of start the trend of starting to move into that alignment to gain some privileges in those new reset perimeters. You'll start to see people like, the concept of Yentl. I don't know if anyone saw Yentl with Barbara Streisand. Remember, she was living in a man's world. She was studying. She couldn't study the Torah or the Talmud because she was a woman. So at the time, she's like, she was like, it's a really, I love the musical. I don't know if you've ever seen Yentl, but it's a really great musical talking about
Hi you guys, so I have cut the pieces and yeah, I've cut the pieces, and whatever is left I'm going to sew later. I just wanted to work with me a little bit because I can go on, but you know, it will get boring, and also Instagram only gives you 2 hours to be live. So bye tomorrow. I hope I'll have sewed later, and I'll show you the progress. But see you tomorrow, and take care.